Welcome to the first tutorial of Glass Sitecore Mapper. My name is Mike Edwards. I'm going to take you through how to set up Glass Sitecore Mapper and pull some content from an item in Sitecore and display it on screen. Let's start by looking at the item that we're going to be using for the demonstration. So in my Sitecore solution I have this tutorial item, and it's actually the root of my tutorial website. As you can see, I've got a couple of fields, body and title. So I'm going to pull these fields out and render them to the home page, which at the moment is displaying nothing. Okay, let's open our website solution, which we have here. And the first thing we need to do is add the references that we're going to need to work with. Now you can find out what dependencies Sitecore Glass Mapper has by looking at the GitHub website. So we need to add Sitecore kernel and log4net. And then we also need to add the dependencies I downloaded from the internet, which are Castle Core and of course the Glass Sitecore Mapper DLL. Add those in, and we can see they're in my project. Now we need to create a folder to contain the model of the items that we want to use with the mapper. So we're just going to call this model, and we need to tell Glass to look for classes that are in the model namespace. So to do this, we need to open our global ASAX file, and we need to create an instance of the Glass Sitecore Mapper context. So now the context takes two parameters. The first one is the configuration loader you're going to use. With the current version of Glass Sitecore Mapper, we only have one configuration loader, which is the attribute configuration loader. So we'll create a new instance of that. And the attribute configuration loader takes an enumeration of namespaces where it should look for classes to load. So we need to point it at our model namespace. And we also need the assembly. The second parameter for the context is any custom data handlers we've got. At the moment we don't have any, so we can just return null. And that's all we need to do to configure Glass to work with Sitecore. Okay, now we've configured Glass, we need to create a class that will represent our home item. So in the model we'll create home class. And we had a title, and we also had a body field. We also want to pull the date that the item was created and display that on screen as well. Now we need to add the Sitecore class attribute to the class. This tells the mapper to load the class, and then we need to tell it also that these are Sitecore fields. With the date field we need to pull that from the created field instead of, so we can just add in created to the constructor, and it will then pull from the created field within Sitecore. Now that we have our class, the next thing to do is to create the HTML output for the page. So if we open up the main layout, and we're just going to drop a quick bit of HTML in. So we just have some very simple ASP.NET controls, title, date and body. So now we need to wire those up to our class and to the content we have in Sitecore. So let's open our code behind file, and the first thing we need to do is create an iSitecore context. This is similar to the standard Sitecore context. Then we want to pull our item in into our home class. So we create a new instance of that, and we use the context to get the current item as the home class. Now that we have an object that contains our Sitecore content, we then just need to push this into our controls. So okay, so that's all we need to do. Now if we build this, and then if we go across to our browser, and we can see the output. And as you can see, we've pulled the title, the date, and the body content straight out of Sitecore. So that's the end of our tutorial. Thank you for watching.